Cowboys Nation, what's going on, y'all? What a day! You know what? My mic's not even hooked up. What's up, y'all? What's up, good people? Aisha, how are you? Christian and LaMarcus, what's going on, fam? Why was they clowning my Wi-Fi? My Wi-Fi been locked in. Talk to me, y'all. What's going on? How we feel about this week? Let me get this mic on. Yeah. Got the Q9 on. How we feel about this week, y'all? Why was they talking about my Wi-Fi? Y'all feel nervous? It's all good. Hey, since y'all tapped in, I'm actually playing some unreleased vibes. For all my deep music listeners out there, me and my dog Coles, we did a cover of St. Elmo's Fire by Michael Franks. So I'm playing that right now. Just, I know a lot of people are nervous about this game, but I'm not. I was very upset after the Washington game because I live in DC. And shout out to my man Lionel, District Heights. So like with me living in DC, it's tough. It's like you want to beat Washington, right? But we weren't able to, and that's all good. But I don't know. The energy just feels different. I was upset, Aisha. I was. And I try to. The thing is, like, I try not to. I hate getting emotional, but one thing I will say is this. Hey, Jim, you know your stuff. Yes, that was St. Elmo's Fire. Michael Franks. We did a cover. If y'all are on the socials, IG, hit me up. Foots Times Coles. That's the music account. It's going up. We actually doing a big show here in DC, not too coming up here soon, and then obviously at Foots the King. Show love. Y'all know what time it is. IG and Twitter. Now, I was upset, Aisha, and this is today. I just want to talk to y'all. Like, I'm just turning the camera on. There's some more unreleased vibes. I'm just turning the camera on and we're just gonna talk. Like, we're just gonna talk ball. I got some notes written down, and I actually had taken these notes earlier in the week, but I really wanted to make sure that when I approached how I wanted to speak about this game, that it wasn't like low hanging fruit stuff. I could be. You're not bugging me, Jim. You the homie. Like, you know me, I'm transparent. So like, I love y'all, man. I talk to everybody, like, it's cool. And we a family. We got to talk about this game. So for me, right, and I have a few philosophies, and I want y'all to get in the chat. I don't think that Tampa Bay is going to let you run the ball. So the whole run the ball and having success, like having the success that you think that you're going to have against Tampa, we'll just dive right into it. I just don't think that you'll be able to. I think that Vita Vea is a menace against the run. Um, and those 3 down linemen, in that odd front that they play, it's gonna be tough to run the ball, especially between the tackles. Simply because they just don't move. Like it's just hard to move them. So right now we're just talking about the offense today. I don't want to. We'll get into attacking Tom Brady tomorrow. Um, but I have a few of my ideas, but I want to hear your all's ideas. And let me just go through like a list of mine. So when I've watched 3 full games of Tampa this year. I watched the Carolina game where Tom turned it up late, but he also made some mistakes. And Carolina is obviously inept offensively. I watched the Cincinnati game, which was very interesting to me because Tampa Bay was in control early and pretty much lost the game. I watched Arizona, is very interesting, even with that team, right? And I said this about Kyler Murray, right? I said, and it's kind of sad because, um, I do believe that quarterbacks get coaches fired, and I think that Kyler Murray ultimately was Cliff Kingsbury's undoing. Even in the first game that they played, it was, not the first game. When you watch Arizona and when they play. And obviously, when they played Tampa, Kyler Murray wasn't there, but that was just random. Like, people give Dak a hard time, and I give Dak. I've been hard on Dak at times myself, and Dak needs to go out and have a good game. He needs to play a certain way. But I also believe that, like, Dak helps guys out. Like, he helps coaches. Like, that's why Mike McCarthy wanted his job, because we have an answer at quarterback. It may not be what people believe or this, that, and the third, but so anyway, I digress a little bit. But obviously, when I watched the 49ers game, that was the game that you're just like, well, can Dallas use some of what San Fran was able to do? But San Fran, this is what I was scared of when we played them last year. They're just clicking on all cylinders. Defensive line, scheme. The players know who they are. Mike Shanahan, Kyle Shanahan. And then you add on top of that just what Christian McCaffrey gives you in the run game and now in the passing game. The play design with them is just so, like, it's really just like Kyle is toying with teams when he had a play design where he faked a bubble and ran, like, it was like 2 screens in one. I'm like, Kyle is just out of control. He faked a bubble. He faked quick game. Purdy did it perfectly. And then he just had Kittle just fly open for like another backside tight end screen. And just had like the defense just completely out of sorts. San Fran obviously beat the brakes off Tampa. And the Saints game was really interesting because the Saints were a team that, again, literally no identity on offense. Like, Andy Dalton's their quarterback. But the Saints really should have beat Tampa Bay. And obviously Tampa had that comeback. But I'm just looking at Tom. I'm just like, I don't know. You know what I mean? I don't know about Tom. And we'll talk about this offense tomorrow. I'm going to go back-to-back shows, y'all. But I wanted to ask you guys, how do you want to attack this defense that is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? So, when you look at this defense, Levante David, Devin White, who's had an up-and-down year, and I guess you could say up-and-down kind of like career. Devin White came in the league and was on fire. Like the Super Bowl that he played against Kansas City. Devin White was the linebacker that you wanted to be. Fast, physical. I remember covering him out of LSU, like fast, physical. Hell, he was even a country boy. You know what I mean? Like he's in the riding horses. You know, he's just he was the linebacker. But then you kind of like see where I wouldn't say he's taking a step back, but I would say that he's kind of like not like those two linebackers were like the standard at one point. And I don't know if they are anymore. I think they're really good. I just don't know if they're the standard. Then you look at guys like Carlton Davis, and we'll get to him. Um, um, Antoine Winfield Jr., who I don't know if he's back. I believe he's supposed to be playing. I know he was hurt early on in the year. So somebody help me if Antoine Winfield is back, if he's playing on the practice report. But I know that he's a really good player. Okay, so Winfield will be playing. Logan Ryan is questionable. Jamel Dean. And I've obviously seen a lot of Keanu Neal, which is interesting. Keanu Neal playing in that defense. Interesting, good player. The two players that really intrigued me on this defense, Joe Tryon, Vita Vea, and Akeem Hicks. So Joe Tryon is that stand-up 3-4 outside backer. And he's light. Like he's not a big, long-armed guy. Like I remember him at Washington. I think that he was really good. And he's listed as 6'5", but he's not 6'5". Like Joe Tryon's not 6'5". He's probably about 6'3". Shorter arms. Good athlete. Now, don't get me wrong. Really good athlete. Like I said again, I remember him at Washington. But I think that if you can get the ball to the edge, pin pull type stuff, dare I say Noah Brown inserting in the run game with your edge runs, maybe some crack toss, and stress him, I think that that's kind of how you have to play. I don't know if you can run downhill on these guys. It's going to be a lot like the Washington game, where they just have two guys that just sit in the middle of that defense. And it's just going to be tough. It is to like get it to. It's going to be tough to really establish a running game. I'm telling you. Like we're gonna he go 2, 3, but then if you could pop the 15, and then 2, and then 3, and then 2, and then if you could pop an 8, like that's enough to me to keep them off balance. Now, one of the things that I noticed, both of their DBs are literally 8 yards off the ball pretty much every snap. They don't play a lot of man, from what I noticed. It just you rarely see them in like cover one looks. You rarely see them even in like some mixed coverages where one DB's up. They're not because I think that they trust Carlton Davis's length. Carlton Davis is a chippy player, and I think that Carlton Davis is one of these guys that he's feisty. He's a long corner, but I think he can be had. And I remember covering Tampa for the first game. It was like Dallas just didn't get Tampa in any matchup like nightmares. And I think that's where I want to see Kellen. And I think that Kellen, he means well and he gets it, but there's times where he just doesn't continue to attack. Like when you watch San Fran play football, they're going to attack your weakness until you stop it. Kellen still just isn't there yet. And that also may go to, we don't know if Kellen, let me just say that we want Kellen. I want Kellen to attack this team's weakness. To me, this team's weakness is those backers and their size. And if it's me, I want to get Tony Pollard on some edge runs and then gut them with Zeke. This will probably, now we're just talking about the run game, and we'll get to Aisha's comment because I do think that you can get these tight ends involved. But, this may be a game where you need Fergie or whoever's going to be your best blocker this game. Like, hey, Jake, like they got a DN out there who you're probably bigger than. Hey, can you go reach block him on this outside zone play? Just so we can keep things alive. And I think that Dallas does have the personnel offensively to do that. This secondary is feisty. Antoine Winfield is feisty. Like, he'll make a tackle and he'll try to jar at the ball, but I don't know if they're great. I don't know if their secondary is great. But the problem is, I don't know if Dallas's passing attack is great outside CeeDee Lamb. And that's what we need to find out, and that's what we need to know. You see a game where Dak throws for 300 yards against a great secondary in Philly, and you're like, okay, cool. I know who Dallas is. They've put up all these points. But then you see his play against Washington, whose secondary is awful. And I'm not big on the theories, and I'm not big on, they didn't want to show much or this, that, and the third. I'm not big on that type of stuff. But I will say I've heard it a lot. Well, Dallas didn't really show up because they knew what the destiny would be and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but football is tricky because you don't want to be or do things like that because it's so hard to turn it off and turn it on. Now, from what I've seen, what I've heard from the players, from Micah, he seems locked in. J-Ron Kearse seems extremely locked in. DeMarcus Lawrence, I love what he said. It's 2023. This all this, the Tom Brady stuff that's out the window. But I do believe that Dallas is locked in. I do. But can they turn the consistency knob up? Now, we're talking about offense. Getting Tyler Biadasz back is huge. We'll talk about his defense and obviously Hankins and LVE tomorrow. But dog, like, when getting Tyler Biadasz back is huge. Now I got a super chat that I didn't get to. Let me get to that real quick and then we'll get back to the talk. Super chat, send them through. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you all. Sending Brady to the Raiders with the L. Cowboys 24, Tampa Bay 20. I love it, the lunatic. I do. And wouldn't it be fitting if Dallas beat the brakes off Tampa and then goes to Philly? I think a lot has to happen, though, for that because I think Philly. So I don't know who. I believe that if San Fran wins, then they go to Philly. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't think that we just automatically go to Philly if we win. I'm not sure. Somebody jump in the chat and let me know the what happens playoff wise if we win, or all the different scenarios if you can. Now, thank you for that super chat, the lunatic. Now I want to get back to Aisha's comment about using these tight ends. Yes, 23 personnel, 11, hell, 12. I think the beautiful thing about using tight ends that we have is we have flavors, right? you know, Fergie, Hendershot, and Dalton. Dalton has had a really solid year, and he's somebody that Dak trusts, especially over the middle of the field. I think that you're gonna have to play action your way through this whole game, no matter what, because that's just the type of team. Like that's just the type of defense that they are. They're not going to play man. They're going to make you declare what you want to do. Then they're going to play off you. They're not going to press you. And that's why the title of this video is How Do You Attack? The best offenses attack defenses. They do. What's up, everybody? Just getting to the chat. If the Giants beat Minnesota, then they go to Philly. Okay. If the Vikings and 49ers win, then we go to Philly. Okay, cool. If Seattle wins, then they go to Philly. Don't have Seattle beating San Francisco. I'm just gonna say that right now. Don't have Seattle beating San Francisco. But crazier things have happened. I don't just show me my opponent. I feel like all year we've waited for this moment with this team. It seems like we snapped a finger and we were playing San Fran last year, and now look where we are. And I think that the guys in the locker room understand and know the importance of this game. Now, by a show of hands, who wants to force feed CD Lamb? By a show of hands. By a show of hands, y'all let me know who wants to. Just by a show of hands, who wants to force feed CD Lamb? Dang, that's not even a lot of hands. I mean, I said a lot of hands. So we're on the same page that we want to force feed. And the beautiful thing about it is, guys, Todd Bowles knows that. Todd Bowles is a hell of a coach defensively. Now, the tricky thing is, how will he deal with CD in the slot? Because, unfortunately, guys, and I went on a rant about this last week, and I'm pretty sure you guys who follow me on Twitter probably saw the rant. It's like, it's so tough being a fan of this team, seeing CD get doubled, and you literally have nobody else with any juice to make plays. But I do believe that T.Y. Hilton will have a big game this game. I believe that, let's say T.Y. Hilton, let's say CD's in the slot. Let's say they're in 11 personnel. So those of you all don't know 11 personnel, these personnel groupings, let's talk football for a second. So 11 personnel is, I always do my personnel groupings by the running back and the tight end. And then the receivers, you use the rest of the math because you got to have 5 guys off the line or whatever it is. That's crazy. I'm an OC and I mess up sometimes. So I'm sorry, y'all. Don't Kellen Moore me, okay? So 11 personnel, 1 running back, 1 tight end, 3 receivers. Let's say CD's in the slot, right? Let's say CD's in the slot and there's attention or there's eyes on him. That's beautiful because I think that, believe it or not, I do believe that T.Y. Hilton, if you have a guy like Carlton Davis in off man or in off coverage, I think that T.Y. Hilton is a bad matchup for a Carlton Davis. For a Carlton Davis. I think that he's actually I'm not gonna say he's a good matchup for CD, but he's a physical corner. Like he was like that at Auburn. So he wants to put hands on you. He wants to do certain things to put you in stress. So I think that T.Y. has a big game. My problem with Michael Gallup is I just don't know if Michael Gallup cares. Even hearing him talk is like sometimes he's in it, sometimes he's not. CD had a play his last game against Washington. I know game didn't mean nothing, blah, blah, whatever. But CD had a play was like, dog, he just refused to go down. And that's what I like. You need dogs. Like, even at receiver, you need guys. And it's like you watch Gallup play sometimes, and it's like, I don't know if Gallup cares. I think he's heard for 2 years now that he's the other receiver. It's CD, it's Amari, and I think that Gallup has lost his drive. I'm just being honest with y'all. And he got paid, and that even hurts us even more because it's like him and Dak they don't. And you know what, Mark Felix, I don't even really want to. Yeah, and that's it. Jim Law is like, I didn't even have to. I haven't even seen Ty speak, but I pretty much know Carlton Davis that much. But I do know that Ty is also a receiver that can run past Carlton Davis. Let me tell y'all something. T.Y. Hilton has been a nice surprise. And then you see that video with Odell on the plane. You're like, I think we dodged the bullet, y'all. I think God had our back on that one. Odell, I'm cool on you. Like, I know you were mad at the old guy or whatever, but it's just like, what kind of people do you want in this organization? Like, I'm not a fan of stuff like that. Like, I don't care who it is, what race. I just don't disrespect old people. If you mad or whatever it is, that's cool. Like, I'm older, my elders, I'm cool on that. And so I think Odell has some stuff he really has to deal with. And to be honest with you, I think that we might have dodged a bullet because he probably could have came in here and just, he has such a big personality. He might have came in here and just messed things up. I think that these guys are banding together. Now, when you talk about Ty, he's been a nice addition. And I love what L. Paps is saying. Let's let Ty run. Like, let him run. Especially if we're going quick game. Like Aisha saying, let's get the ball to these tight ends. Let's make these linebackers cover. Levante David used to be great in coverage. He's not anymore. Devin White, that's been part of his issue. He's also been king slow. Devin White has had some okay games. Then he was having issues with his weight, and he wasn't moving the same. Let's make these guys play this way, sideline to sideline. And it's weird because they did that really good for a while, and then they kind of like aren't the same at doing that. And like Levante David wasn't the same and isn't the same. Like, it's not a lot. This isn't the Levante David from 2 years ago. Just not. I think the best linebacker core that you'll probably see in the playoffs when we get to the NFC Championship will be San Francisco. And that'll be when you play Greenlaw and Fred Warner. Fred Warner from BYU covered him as well. The problem with Michael Gallup is I don't know how much he cares. I could be wrong. But then it's also just like, for whatever reason, him and Dak just aren't on the same page. And now, like, him and Dak and CD are. Like, Dak and CD are. Dak and CD are. Man, if CD plays the whole year, he's a 1,700-yard receiver with Dak. I think Dak has gotten to that point to where, like, he's like, I got to get the ball to 88. And, like, even last game with the touchdown he has, like, I got to get the ball. And that's what I want him thinking. Because even if teams know that, and again, Tabo's a very smart DC. Obviously, it's his defense. He's a very smart coach. He's going to have a plan to kind of deal with CD. But, Kellen, this is why you get paid. You need to have a plan to counter that. But some of that plan could be the tight ends. But it's like when you talk about juice, Ty has shown some juice. Pollard is obviously second in line when it comes to juice, but number one is Sedorius Lane. And I want to see there be ways that, like, the way that we used him last year when we played Tampa Bay was beautiful. I think you need to see more of that. quick game, then build a scheme off of it. I remember they went quick and then they threw the double move. Boom. Like stuff like that. Because trust me, they don't want to tackle CeeDee Lamb in space. They don't. Yeah, I'm not mad at that. Maybe if they went like 21 personnel, 2 backs in the backfield, or 20 personnel, 2 backs in the backfield, and then motion him out and make those guys declare their coverage. I'm not mad at that. Putting Tony Pollard in the slot, just get him the ball. Again, we're talking about juice. Just get him the ball. I think Kellen has to have his best game. I think Kellen Moore, it's time for him to kind of mature. I'll never forget being at that San Fran game. And I don't think he'll do this. I don't think that Mike will let him. I never forget, you're running a reverse. You're running a reverse in a playoff game. Or he ran something that is like, Kellen, are you here right? Kellen, wait, Kellen, this is the playoffs. Like, there's no more games after this. He did something in that game, and I'm at the game. I'm like, we're done. It's over. It came down to all this stuff about clock management. No, game plan wasn't good enough. And I think that our game plan will be good enough this week. I was mad I didn't have us winning. I'm not gonna be a Benedict Arnold. I tweeted it, and I'm pretty sure people will tweet at me once Dallas wins. Fush, you said we 100% would lose. Well, yeah, it was a lateral. Yeah, that's what it was. Leaving that, well, not leaving that game, but after that game on Sunday night, I felt like we would 100% lose for sure, but we didn't. I mean, but I think we won't. And I think that these guys, it's tough when you lose. It's tough when you lose like that, because I think that we know that we're better than that. I think that we know that we're a better team than that. Okay, let's talk about this back end, like the safety position. Antoine Winfield is really good. He really reminds me of Donovan Wilson. Yep, and we'll talk about the defense getting LVE back and all that type of stuff. He reminds me a lot of Donovan Wilson. Big hitter, physical. We'll talk his talk, all that. Like, Antoine Winfield is really good. After that, there are guys that can be had. Jamel Dean, yeah. Like I'm okay if we're going at Jamel Dean. Like I'm okay. I'm okay if we're going at Mike Edwards. I like what El Paps is saying. Like, Winfield can be had, but he's really good. As far as just kind of like being the leader of that defense, the attacker of that defense. But throw at him. He's small. Dalton Schultz is 6'5". Make Winfield cover. Right? I don't think that Tampa has the pass rush that they had on that Super Bowl run. I could be wrong. But you guys let me know. I don't think they have the pass rush that they had on that Super Bowl run. Sean Murphy Bunting. I want to see who they carry. They're not going to bring Carlton Davis inside. He's just not that type of corner. He's a taller corner. I just don't see them doing that. So they're not going to bring Carlton Davis inside. Yeah, Aisha, and that's what I was going to talk about when we talk about this defense. I think Donovan Wilson has to fit the run game. You gotta, because Fournette and Micah have had some back and forth before, And Fournette has had an up and down year. I think this will probably be Fournette's last year in Tampa. He wasn't happy being benched this year, or losing his starting role to Rachaad White. Like Rachaad White gets the majority of the carries. So we'll talk. I know y'all want to talk about how we're gonna stop Tom Brady, but I'll be honest with y'all. Now you good, Aisha. You good. I guess let's talk. Let's give him a little preview. I'll be completely honest with y'all. Like I love Tom Brady, but I just don't see, like, he obviously still has zip on that ball, right? But like the teams they're playing, like, it's a lot of times I just see him just, if you can get home, it's a lot of times I just kind of see him like, fall down. But the thing is, still 2,000-yard receivers in Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. So still two guys that like they're gonna have to throw the ball. Now their run game, blocking scheme, but Tom is going to run the ball. Tom is going to throw the ball correctly. Yes, Aisha. Chauncey Golson he's somebody that I've called for a while, especially when it comes to stopping the run. He just has a feel. That Iowa program, they just coach. Like they're guys just coming to the league ready to go. They're coached up. They are. So, but back to this Tampa Bay defense, I think that you need to throw the ball at Winfield. And I think that you need to attack this defense. I think the fastest, like, if Dallas can score 27 points, because Tampa doesn't score a lot of points. So if Dallas can score 27 points, I think that Dallas can win this game. And they've done that a lot. They've scored points a lot. Now, last game, they didn't. And that's why everybody has paused the calls, and that's why Vegas is all over Tom Brady, and they should be, and that's good for them. But, like, if Dallas can score points, I think, Tampa's averaging somewhere around Tampa's probably averaging, I think Tampa's averaging like 19 points a game, 20 points a game. I know they beat us the first game of the season. But like holding Tom Brady to 19 points, your defense did a good job. They don't really explode on offense. And they haven't, they got some bad losses on here. Steelers, the Panthers beating them 21-3. So they average 17 points a game. Thank you, Mr. Fury. Thank you, Jim Laws. So they average, you know what I'm saying? Like, they average, and I just honestly, and I sucked in math, but like I was able to just look at the scores and say, so they're not like scoring a lot of points. They start very slow, which is why Dallas needs to start fast. But if you let Tom hang around, he's he's just an old vet, this old guy at the park. You playing 33. You got 21 and he got 3 points. Then you start hitting a few threes. Then, you start talking, how Tom get going. He start talking and, So I think the moral of the story is, all the stats aside, I think that Dallas just has to play sound football. I don't want to hear about grass. Like, I don't. If you guys want to talk about grass, this is in the channel for you. Like, I don't want to hear about grass. I don't want to hear about Tom Brady being 7-0. Like, live in this moment. Like Micah, like, it's time for you to go win. You're tweeting about Lions every day. Okay, well, go be a Lion. Like, I want to see it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Just being honest. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I think fans are to that point, and that's why I was saying last week, like, at a point, X's and O's coaches, like, these players gotta, these players have to lock in. No, Josh. So if we go to the NFC Championship, that's gonna be the game that I try to make something happen and go to wherever that's going to be at. But this will be the first time that the Cowboys have had a major playoff game that I'm not going to in a while. And I'm a little bit sad about that. But if we go to the NFC Championship, like we get hot, which I think that we will, because I really want to play Philly. Like, it's so funny how Philly's able to skate. Philly didn't look good against the Giants last week, y'all. They really didn't. But it's Dallas. We run media. The Cowboys run media. Like, you can't have a NFL show without talking about the Dallas Cowboys. You just can't do it. And it's unfair to Dak, but I like how Dak handles it. He doesn't get on Twitter. He doesn't fight back and forth. So, all that type of stuff. Yeah, Philly has looked bad. And I think the Phillies scheme is very stale. So, obviously I'm not going to that stadium, but so I just, I don't want to hear about grass. I don't want to hear about this. I don't want to hear about that. To me, what I want to see is this team come out and attack. That's why I said, how does Dallas attack this Tampa defense? All right, so let's go through the list. Let's really lock in. We're in film study here on this channel. Not gonna be C gap runs. It's not, A to A. It's not gonna be there. You gotta have two just like extremely large human beings just sitting in those gaps. If you can go sideline to sideline, maybe some counter stuff, I think that you'll get what you want in the run game, pitch game. Just run as fast as you can to the outside. Cool. Orbit motion, all those types of things. Let's swing that ball out and let's make them run. Cool. That's how you attack them. I think that you attack and let it be known. CD's getting the ball right now. Stop him. And then when they start giving help, then T.Y. Hilton has to be ready. I like Michael Gallup. I like Noah Brown. They don't separate enough for me. And it's crazy because I tweeted that last week and I said, listen, these guys create no separation. And the stat comes out this week about their separation numbers. And it's like, I don't even, like, that's my thing. I watch so much ball. I don't need PFF to tell me their separation numbers. I know what I'm looking at. Like, these guys, they're two possession receivers. And the problem with that is, like, CD has improved as a route runner, but, like, that's not even CD's forte. CD is like your get the ball in his hands and go. You need a true route runner who can run past guys who can really route you up and create separation. That's why I was so refreshing seeing Josh Dotson this weekend in the route he put on Mullins, because, like, you see the separation that he was able to create with his feet. But if you guys follow this channel, then you guys know. See, the people who are with me around draft time, they know how high I was on on Dotson. So, to me, I believe that you attack with T.Y. Hilton and CeeDee Lamb. You have to. If you want to use Noah Brown in the run game, I think that you can, because I still think that Noah Brown does some nice things personnel-wise to come in and stick his nose in there and fit up and bang in the run game. So it's not like I don't want to just throw Noah Brown away, but I think that he does some nice things. I really do. Okay, so I like what Aisha's saying about Henny. Henny does have those receiver qualities. What we got to find out, Aisha, is does the staff trust him to put him in a moment like this? Henny can run. Like, sign me up. But, like, when you have a drop in Tennessee where you just drop the ball for no reason, that's tricky. You know what I mean? That's extremely tricky. So those are the type of things, Aisha, where it's like they probably won't take Dalton Schultz off the field. That's where it gets. And you're not wrong. Because I think that this is Hendershot's, and I think this is Hendershot and Ferguson's team next year. Like, I really believe that. But this year, playoffs, everything on the line, you better believe they're going with Baby Witt, Schultz. Why stick? Go turn around. Like, you know that's who they're going with. All right, let's get this. Let's get Matt T out of here. Sorry, Matt, you gotta go. I don't even know why I gave you a shout out. Peace. See ya. Had to get him out the paint. All trolls. It's playoff time, so we getting all trolls out the way. Questions, y'all. Let's talk. Give me some questions. I'm gonna go for an hour. I think. Tired. But I wanted to make sure that I got this out the way. Because I really appreciate you guys. One thing I love about Cowboys fans is I do believe that you guys are I think the Cowboys fans are the smartest fan base. Even when we don't see eye to eye, I still think that the conversation it really makes sense. And I appreciate Cowboys fans. Second cornerback. Let's talk about that tomorrow, El Pap. Second quarterback. Let's talk about that tomorrow. You have to get those linebackers tired. That's how we're going to beat them. Yes, that's it. Tariq. So Tariq is on one. Like, you do. You need to get them playing sideline to sideline. You need to make them be great at space, which they haven't been able to do all year. So, like, I completely agree with you. Should the Cowboys move on from LVE? No. Well, it's tough. How much do you trust Damone Clark? How much do you trust? Well, you don't trust Jabril Cox because you don't play him. So, no, I don't. Second cornerback. Well, let's talk about it tomorrow, guys. Tyler Smith back to left, goes back. Yes. Great question. Let's pin Corey Johnson. Corey, yes. You want to get edge runs? Yes. And, man, how did I go 47 minutes without saying how much I miss Terrence Steele? I don't think we have given a man the proper flowers. Man, like, as soon as he went down, this run game changed. I don't think that we've had a dominant running performance since he's been in there. I mean, since he's been gone. Crazy how much we miss Terrence Steele. Crazy. You're talking about a blocker who finishes blocks? Man. And I think that Tyler Smith, you drafted Tyler Smith for games like this and for San Francisco, where you need to get downhill, and I think that you'll be able to. Terrence Steele can get the flowers on this channel, that's for sure. Move the pocket for that, get him going. I'm not mad at that. Rollout game, play action, easy completions, let him see the ball. I always tell people, like, you know, I do this thing all the time when I'm coaching. I love to compare basketball and football. That's why it really bothers me that so many young athletes only play one sport. Even at the rec level, like, let's say you're not playing at a high level, I really think that you should play basketball. Like, I don't think that if you're a football player, you should play basketball, because it's the same thing. Like, if you want to get your outside game going, well, let's get to the basket. Let's make a layup first, and then we'll get the three ball going. Now these kids, they just go to the court and just they think they're Steph Curry. It's crazy to me. Nobody can even make a layup. You can't make a layup, but you're shooting threes. But yes, I do think that we should get that going with quick game. Biotish back means that Tyler McGovern needs to go back to guard. Unfortunately, Jason Peters is just a swing guy. I think it was very premature to call him, oh, I want to see both of them. No. Like, if we're being completely honest, Tyron Smith has really kind of tapered off. Like, Tyron Smith is a run blocker. Sucks. Just hasn't been good. Like, the film is not doing bad with his pass sets, but run blocking wise. And it's and to be fair to Tyron, he's on the right side. But, like, I think that we are kind of seeing the end or closer to the end. I think that we are kind of seeing closer to the end with Tyron Smith, and it happens like that. But that's why you drafted Tyler Smith, and I'm sure they'll go to the well at some point for offensive linemen in the draft, just for depth, because I think that you can never have enough good O linemen. But as far as reshuffling, I think that McGovern has to go back to left guard. He does. And Tyler Smith has to go back to left tackle. If you want to run the ball, that's what you need to have happen. Jason Peters, spot duty, cool. Like, I'm not mad at that. Jason Peters playing the whole game? No. Don't want to see it. Yeah. Matchup needs to be Rose on Julio, Diggs on Evans, Bland on Cowan. I like that. I know we're talking about offense today, though, but I like that. I like what you're talking about. We'll talk about that some more when we get back. Let's get Aisha. What's she talking about? What's my girl talking about? Good thing Tyler playing versus the Bucks. Yeah, and I agree. He'll get the tendencies from Hicks. One thing about Tyler Smith is like he's really physical. Like he's physical. Like he ain't, he made the athletics all rookie team. And like we got a stud in Tyler Smith, which is what I told you guys draft night. I said, guys, it's okay. Like, I know you guys wanted this player. I know you wanted that player, but like, boom, you needed Tyler Smith because look what happened with Tyron Smith. And then look what happened with Tyron Smith. You didn't miss a beat. First team, all rookie, the athletic. Come on, man. You needed him. I begged you guys to listen. I said this earlier this year, motto for Christ. I said this earlier this year. I'm ready to move on from Tyron. Everyone think it was like he's a Hall of Famer. And it's like, I agree. I think what happens is, that's a great point, motto for Christ, is we look at Tyler and Zach in the same breath, and it's like, no, Zach is still playing at an all-pro level. That's why he was an all-pro this year. Tyron is not. I'm not going to throw him on the bus, but he's not playing at that level that people think he is. So, yeah, I agree with that one. I completely agree. Right. In Wayne's World, you're not wrong, but here's the problem. If my game plan is already, I know, like, I don't think that any of these D tackles would have been able to, offensive guards would have been able to move Hank. Now, I'm going to tell you something that we haven't talked about, right? You know what you do with big fat boys at 3 tech, at 1 tech? You go tempo. Like, you go quick because they're just not in shape. That was the issue with Jordan Davis at Georgia. Like, you go quick, go tempo. There needs to be times where they're on the ball quick. Because now it's null and void. Now it's the great equalizer. Your shape is the great equalizer. So, like, that's the great equalizer for those great D tackles. They're huge. They're not in shape. They're not. So I think that's how you can kind of attack certain things. If you wanted to get like downhill and you're going up tempo, I think that'd be dope. So that's how I want to attack this defense, y'all. I think it's been a great show. We're 53 minutes in. Doesn't look like I have any more questions. How do you guys feel about the game? Give me a score prediction. How do you guys feel about the game? Monday night. We're still a ways away. We got a lot of good football to watch this Saturday. I can't wait. I'm very excited. Let's do this. Because we're a ways away. What will be the upset this weekend? We're not talking about the Cowboys game. Give me an upset. Give me an upset this weekend. I would love this. A skeptical fan, I would love this. 40 to 10. Yeah. Give me the other games because I'm a football purist. So, like, I'm actually getting sad knowing that, like, this is the last real hoorah for good ball. What's an upset this weekend? Not the Cowboys game, anything. Okay, I like that, El Paps. Jags win. Seattle. I think that Seattle and San Fran is going to be very interesting. I could easily see the G-Men winning. The problem that I think that the Giants are going to have is I don't think that they have a DB that can guard Justin Jefferson. That is where Dallas did have Diggs. I think the Giants' run defense is superb, but I don't think they'll be able to score with Minnesota or stop Justin Jefferson. I think Seattle can do it. Third time playing them. The problem is, though, Aisha, I got to be real with you. San Francisco is clicking. Like, Ayuk is clicking. Debo is back now. Christian McCaffrey. And yeah, by the way, you have one of the better play callers like ever. So it's going to be tough. Do I think happy? Yeah, because I think that Pete Carroll knows that scheme. He knows that system. Like they literally draft for them. So that'll be interesting. This has been a great show, y'all. It's been a great show. I can't wait to talk to you guys tomorrow. It's your boy Foots. Again, check me out like everywhere. Y'all know how I am on Twitter, talking my talk. Today was cool. I'm on IG. Hit me on IG. I just be like talking about like jazz and stuff and music on IG. Follow my music page, y'all. Like support me. All I got is like it costs nothing to just shoot a follow to the music page. Like it costs nothing to just show love. Like it really doesn't. Cause you know me. I'm just like in my basement. Let me show y'all my studio real quick. That's my studio setup. My drum set, mics. This is where I watch my games at. That's my preamp. That goes. I did Tiny Desk. It goes like some shows. So like I'm really grinding. All right, y'all. Much love. I think we're gonna win this game. And we'll be back to talk about the defense tomorrow. I know y'all want to talk about how we're gonna stop old man Brady. We'll be back tomorrow. It's your boy Foots. Great show. Give me a peace sign or something, a heart, a wave, something. Love y'all. Peace.